I never thought a stupid dare at a frat party would flip my entire world upside down. There I was. Alex Thompson, your average college junior in bustling Chicago, Illinois, squeezing into a sequin dress and heels just to win a bet from my roommates. But when I walked back into our cramped off-campus apartment that night, the looks on their faces weren't laughter, they were hunger, confusion, and something dangerously close to desire. It all started innocently enough. Me, Jake, Ryan, and Miguel had been roommates since freshman year at the University of Chicago. We were a mismatched crew, Jake, the brooding artist with tattoos snaking up his arms. Ryan, the golden boy athlete on the soccer team. And Miguel, the quiet engineering whiz who hid his sharp wit behind thick glasses. I was the glue, the easygoing guy who kept the peace with bad jokes and late-night pizza runs. Our apartment in Wrigleyville was a mess of textbooks, gym bags, an empty beer cans, a typical slice of American college life. The dare came during a wild party at Sigma Chi. Come on, Alex, Jake had slurred, his dark eyes gleaming under the strobe lights. Bet you $50 you won't crossdress for the rest of the night. I laughed it off at first, but the crowd egged me on. And before I knew it, I was in the bathroom borrowing makeup from a sympathetic sorority girl. When I emerged, the cheers were deafening. But it was the way my roommates stared, Jake's smirk fading into something intense, Ryan's jaw dropping, Miguel blushing furiously, that planted the first seed of unease. Back home, I tried to play it cool, twirling in the living room like it was all a big joke. What do you think, guys? Am I fabulous or what? I expected groans or playful punches. Instead, silence. Jake stepped forward first, his voice low. You look different. Good different. His hand brushed my arm, sending a shiver down my spine. Ryan cleared his throat, averting his eyes. Yeah, man. Unexpectedly hot. Miguel just nodded, his cheeks still red. That night, as I wiped off the makeup in our tiny bathroom, I caught my reflection. The dress hugged my slim frame in ways I'd never noticed. For the first time, I felt seen not as the goofy roommate, but as someone desirable. It was thrilling and terrifying. Little did I know, that one night had cracked open a door none of us could close. The next morning, things escalated. I woke to the smell of coffee and found Jake in the kitchen, shirtless, stirring a mug with unusual focus. Hey, about last night, he said, handing me a cup. You were incredible. Made me think. Maybe we should hang out more. Just us. His eyes lingered on my lips, and my heart raced. Before I could respond, Ryan burst in from his run, sweat glistening on his toned chest. Morning, Alex. Want to hit the gym with me? I could spot you. There was a possessiveness in his tone, like he was staking a claim. Miguel was subtler. That afternoon, while we studied in the living room, he slid a notebook toward me. I drew this, he whispered. It was a sketch of me from the party, capturing the vulnerability in my eyes with stunning detail. You inspire me. His hand grazed mine, and electricity sparked. At first, I thought it was the hangover talking, or maybe the novelty. But as days turned to weeks, the tension built. I started crossdressing more, at first in private, then around the apartment. It felt liberating, like shedding a skin I didn't know was too tight. The guys noticed, Jake would leave little gifts, lip gloss, a scarf in my bed. Ryan invited me to his games, insisting I wear something cute for luck. Miguel composed playlists of songs about hidden desires, playing them during our quiet evenings. But harmony shattered when the fighting began. It started small, Jake snapping at Ryan for monopolizing my time. "He's not your personal cheerleader," Jake growled one evening as Ryan helped me adjust a wig. Ryan shot back, "At least I'm not creeping around like some obsessed artist." Miguel, usually the peacemaker, joined in. "You both are idiots. Alex needs someone who understands him, not just ogles him." I tried to laugh it off, but inside, I was torn. Each of them stirred something different in me. Jake's intensity made me feel alive. Ryan's protectiveness gave me security. Miguel's gentleness touched my soul. Was this love? Or just confusion amplified by our close quarters? One night, after a particularly heated argument over who would cook dinner with me, I retreated to the rooftop of our building. Chicago's skyline twinkled below, the wind whipping my skirt. Tears stung my eyes. This wasn't a game anymore. It was real, messy, and potentially heartbreaking. Jake found me first. "Alex, I'm sorry," he said, wrapping his jacket around my shoulders. "I didn't mean to push. Seeing you like that, it woke something in me." He pulled me close, his lips brushing my forehead. The kiss that followed was fire passionate, urgent, but guilt flooded me. What about the others? As if summoned, Ryan appeared. "What's going on?" he demanded, eyes narrowing at our embrace. Jake stepped back, fists clenched. "Back off, Ryan. This isn't about you." "It is now," Ryan retorted, grabbing my hand. "Alex, choose me. I'll give you everything." Miguel emerged from the shadows, his face pale. "Stop this. You're tearing him apart." The rooftop became a battlefield of emotions. Accusations flew. Jake called Ryan superficial. Ryan labeled Jake reckless. Miguel accused them both of selfishness. I stood in the center, cross-dressed and exposed, my heart pounding. "Enough," I shouted, my voice echoing over the city. "This isn't about turns or games. It's about me figuring out who I am and who I love." Silence fell. In that moment, under the stars, I realized the true drama wasn't the fighting, but the journey we'd all embarked on. Crossdressing had been the spark, but the fire was our unspoken feelings, now blazing bright. We descended the stairs in tense quiet. Back in the apartment, I called a house meeting. "We need to talk," I said, sitting them down. "Really talk." Over hours, truths poured out. Jake admitted his art had always been a shield for his bisexuality. Ryan confessed the locker room bravado hid his fears of coming out. Miguel shared stories of his conservative family, how he'd suppressed his attractions. And me. Crossdressing started as a dare, but it's part of me now. And you guys, you've shown me love in ways I never expected. Tears flowed. Hugs followed. Not all wounds healed instantly, but understanding bloomed. We agreed to take it slow. No more fighting. Instead, support. In the weeks that followed, the dynamic shifted. Jake and I explored the city, hand in hand, his passion fueling my confidence. But Ryan and Miguel didn't fade away. They became allies. their affections evolving into deep friendship. One evening, as autumn leaves swirled outside our window, Ryan pulled me aside. "I'm happy for you and Jake," he said, voice steady. "But if things change..." I smiled. "Thanks. But let's just be us." Miguel nodded from across the room. His sketchbook opened to a new drawing of all four of us, laughing together. Yet, the story wasn't over. Rumors spread on campus about our unconventional household. Whispers in hallways. Stares in class. One day, a group of frat guys cornered me after lecture. "Heard you're the dorm queen now." One sneered. "Freak." Fear gripped me. But then Jake appeared. Ryan and Miguel flanking him. "Back off," Jake warned, his voice steel. Ryan cracked his knuckles. "Or deal with us." They scattered. But the incident shook me. That night, we huddled together. "We can't hide forever," Miguel said. "Maybe it's time to own it." Inspired, we organized a campus event panel on LGBTQ+ experiences in college. Sharing our story, crossdressing and all, was terrifying. But the applause, the questions, the tears from audience members, it was worth it. As winter blanketed Chicago, Jake and I grew closer. Our first real date was at Navy Pier. Snowflakes dancing around us. "I love you, Alex," he whispered, pulling me into a kiss. "All of you." I felt whole. Accepted. The roommates' rivalry had forged unbreakable bonds. But life threw another curve. Ryan met someone at the gym, a kind guy named Chris. Watching them, I felt a pang. But it was joy. Miguel dove into his studies, emerging with confidence, even dating casually. Our apartment buzzed with new energy. No more fights over turns, just support, laughter, and growth. One spring day, as cherry blossoms bloomed along Lake Michigan, we gathered for a picnic. "Remember that dare?" I asked, lounging in a sundress. Jake chuckled. "Best bet I ever made." Ryan raised a toast. "To games that change everything." Miguel smiled. "And to love, in all its forms." In that moment, I knew we'd weathered the storm. Crossdressing was no longer just a game. It was my truth. And the fighting, it led to understanding, acceptance, and a family stronger than blood. The drama had its highs and lows. But the human value shone through. Love isn't about possession, but liberation. In America's heartland, we'd found our hearts. As graduation loomed, uncertainties arose. Jobs, moves, life pulling us apart. Jake got an art residency in New York. "Come with me," he urged. I hesitated. "What about the others?" "We'll visit," he assured. "This isn't goodbye." Ryan landed a coaching gig in California. Miguel an internship in Seattle. Our last night together was bittersweet. We cooked a feast, shared stories, laughed until dawn. "Promise we'll stay in touch," I said, tears welling. "Always," they chorused. Jake and I moved to the Big Apple, where the energy matched our passion. I pursued fashion design, embracing my crossdressing publicly. Shows, friends, a community that celebrated us. Years later, at our reunion in Chicago, we reflected. Ryan married Chris. Miguel found love with a fellow engineer. Jake and I, still together, our bond unbreakable. That initial game had sparked a revolution in our lives, teaching us empathy, courage, and the beauty of authentic love. In the end, it wasn't about who won the turn, but how we all won each other. And that's the true drama of the heart.